The Battle of Moscow, fought between October 1941 and January 1942, was one of the most pivotal clashes of World War II. Marking the first major defeat of Nazi Germany's military machine, the battle halted Hitler's advance into the Soviet Union and shattered the myth of German invincibility. As the capital of the Soviet Union, Moscow held immense strategic, political, and symbolic importance. Its defense not only saved the Soviet regime but also shifted the momentum of the war. Background: Operation Barbarossa. On June 22, 1941, Adolf Hitler launched Operation Barbarossa, the largest invasion in history, deploying over 3 million Axis troops to invade the Soviet Union. The goal was to quickly conquer the Western USSR, crush the Red Army and seize key cities, including Leningrad in the north, the industrial hub of Ukraine in the south, and Moscow in the center. By late summer, German forces had made enormous gains, capturing vast territories and encircling entire Soviet armies. Believing that the Soviets were on the verge of collapse, Hitler turned his focus toward Moscow in the fall of 1941. The drive to Moscow, Operation Typhoon. The assault on the Soviet capital was code-named Operation Typhoon, launched in October 1941. The Germans aimed to encircle and destroy the Red Army defending Moscow and capture the city before winter set in. Initially, the operation met with success. Soviet forces suffered heavy losses, and German troops advanced rapidly, coming within 100 kilometers of Moscow. However, several critical problems emerged. Overextended supply lines and poor roads slowed the German advance. Unexpected Soviet resistance proved fiercer than anticipated. The Russian autumn rains, Rasputitsa, turned roads into impassable mud. German troops, still in summer uniforms, were unprepared for the harsh winter to come. Moscow defends, Soviet countermeasures. Despite enormous losses, the Soviet Union managed to reinforce the capital with fresh troops and resources. One major advantage came from Soviet intelligence, which learned that Japan would not attack the Soviet Far East. This allowed Stalin to transfer elite divisions from Siberia to Moscow. The Soviets also mobilized civilians to build defenses, trenches, bunkers, and anti-tank obstacles, turning the city into a fortress. Marshal Zhukov was appointed to lead the defense. His leadership, coupled with the tenacity of Soviet soldiers and civilians, played a key role in holding the line. The turn of the tide, Soviet counteroffensive. By early December 1941, German forces had stalled just miles from Moscow, facing freezing temperatures and exhaustion. On December 5, the Red Army launched a massive counteroffensive. Reinforced and better equipped for winter warfare, Soviet troops pushed the Germans back more than 100 miles from the city. The surprise counterattack stunned the Germans and forced Hitler to call off the offensive. It was the first time in the war that the German army had been decisively repelled. Significance and aftermath. The Battle of Moscow marked a turning point in the war. First major defeat for Nazi Germany, it ended the illusion of a quick victory in the East. Boosted Soviet morale. The successful defense of Moscow became a rallying symbol for the Soviet people. Exposed flaws in German planning. Hitler's underestimation of Soviet strength and the Russian winter proved costly. Changed the course of the Eastern Front. The failure at Moscow ensured a long, grinding war of attrition in the East, which would ultimately drain German resources and manpower.